What is going on, everyone? I want to discuss Bryce Harper and the slump that he is in and the boos the Phillies fans rain down on Bryce Harper almost every single time he gets out, it feels like. And I just don't think that it is justified. I don't think we are at the level now where we should be booing Bryce Harper to the extreme. I understand it comes with the 13 years, $330 million that he put his name to on paper. I know that that is why it happens. You sign that much money, you expect to perform, but I think we are overdoing it right now at this very moment. I think that there's times where some boos should be valid, and I think that there's some reasons and some times where, what the hell are you doing? It makes no sense, and this is what I mean. We'll get into his slump. It's clearly ugly, but let me just give you an example on what I'm talking about. If it is the bottom of the eighth, right? Bottom of the eighth inning, we're down 7-0. Nobody's on, 2 outs, and Bryce Harper strikes out. Boo! 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 What's he supposed to do there? Hit an 11-run home run? Like, that doesn't even make sense. And Rhys Hoskins will get out after him and nobody says anything. Gene Segura will ground out before him and nobody will say anything. Andrew McCutchen flies out the left field before him and nobody will say anything. In that situation, there's no reason to boo. You're down 7 runs. It's the 8th inning. Nobody's on. There's 2 outs. It is what it is. You're not going to get a hit every single time. This will be the one spot where I think it's okay to give a little boo. Bottom third. Bases juice, 2 outs, you're down 1. All right, Bryce, this is why we brought you here. Make a play. This is why we paid you the big bucks. Be a leader, be a difference maker, be the reason why the Phillies win a ball game. If he strikes out on an ugly pitch, if he gets overpowered by a fastball, yeah, okay, I can see you giving some boos. But we are over-booing, if that makes sense, right now. I get that he's striking out at an insane rate. I know he's not seeing the ball come out of the pitcher's hands. You can tell by the way he strikes out on a pitch, on a curveball that bounces 6 times before it hits the plate. I understand that it's ugly, and he's getting overpowered by fastballs, by pitchers who are not elite pitchers in this league. I know he's in a slump, but let's not act like Bryce Harper doesn't care. If Bryce Harper didn't care, then I could see it being more justified. The guy is diving around in the outfield in a 5-0 loss for a meaningless fly ball in foul territory. The guy cares. He is determined. He loves this sport. The guy is giving 7,000% effort to make sure he gets out of the slump. He brings the lunch pail to work. He is someone who actually lives, dies, and breathes the game of baseball. If he was going out, partying, not caring at all, has this attitude, this different approach where, whatever, I made a payday, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to go out there every day and play and see what happens, then I could see the reason to crush him. But this guy is just going through a really tough time right now, and I think he actually needs a little support from the fan base. Trust me. Do I think Bryce Harper's going into the dugout after he'd strike out and crying that the fans are booing him? Absolutely not. He's got the right attitude and swagger to be able to handle it, because if he wouldn't handle it, he wouldn't have chose Philadelphia to begin with, because he knew if he would go down a stretch like this, boos would occur. But I just don't think it's right. So let's talk about his stats so far this season. And to this date, he's batting .222. Not great. 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. So 7 home runs, 27 RBIs, 33 walks, and he has 60 strikeouts. So he's walking a lot. He's also striking out at an obnoxious rate. 363 OBP and 793 OPS. But when you break it down more in a stretch, in the last 7 games, he's batting 148 with 13 strikeouts. In the last 15 games, he's batting 185 with 22 strikeouts. And in the last month, in the last 30 days, he is batting 194 with 41 strikeouts. So the stretch he's in now, it's bad. I mean, there's no denying that it's bad and it's tough to watch. And you didn't bring him in here to produce at this level and hit 222. I know that. You didn't bring him in here for walks so Rhys Hoskins can get hits, which isn't even happening at this very moment because Rhys is in a slump. I think he needs some breathing room, though. I hate that attitude. Well, it's Philly. If you don't perform, you're getting the boos. That's what we do. Grow up. Grow up. That's such a bad take on this. That's such a ridiculous narrative. Yes, we do boo at times. But why are you being a jerk-off when there's 2 outs, nobody on base, we're down 7 in the 8th inning, and he strikes out? You're going to crush him. And I've watched it happen. I specifically even remember talking about it in a post-game show where the game was out of reach. Rhys Hoskins ends up striking out in worse form than Bryce Harper did. You hear a, oh, not a boo, an oh. But the at-bat before him, Bryce Harper strikes out, and it's a monstrous boo. It's not... It's not reasonable, in my opinion. Now, I'm not giving him a free pass. I've stated this. Are there moments where a boo is allowed? Sure, absolutely. When there's men on and there's a chance and you got to knock in some runs. You brought him in here to do that. Yes, there's times. Now, I'm a believer in Bryce. I am. This is probably the worst stretch of his career. But am I going to say, oh, I won't want Bryce Harper? No. Don't act like just because he's in a slump, he doesn't affect things. He still affects a lot. He still affects a lot. You don't think players, regardless of his slump at the moment, you don't think players and pitchers, when they're up there, they go, oh, well, you never know when it can happen. It's Bryce Harper. If he didn't hit a ball in 50 at-bats, that has no correlation to this next pitch. Because just like that, he can rope it out of the ballpark. I do the deal every second, every day, over again. It's a month and a half of baseball where he has been a mess. A mess. But it's a character test. It's a mental test. He's facing some adversity. And if there's one person that I think could handle it, it's this guy. It's funny how I've changed completely about how I feel about Bryce Harper and his style. Maybe that comes with the growth of him and being more mature and being at a different level in his career. But when he played for the Nats, I said, this kid's a little dweeb. He's a pest. He's annoying. He's a loser. The hair flip, he thinks he's all that. Granted, he was way younger then, late teens, early 20s, 26 now. And I think he has a different outlook on life. He's got a different outlook on the game. He's a true professional. Think about people who go through tough times in the major leagues like that, and how quickly it can just fall, collapse, body language changes. His body language isn't changing. He's given us even more effort on the defensive side than I've ever seen before. And that's during this tough, brutal stretch. He's carrying himself very well during a time where we all know he's frustrated. And I think that is very high. I think of that very highly with his character. I do. And I fully believe that once he gets some rhythm, he'll start rolling. He'll start get going. He hit 214 last year before the All-Star break. Did you see what he did in the second half? Did you see how explosive he was in the second half? His time will come. His time will come. He will adjust. I know Gabe Kapler saying he's not going to get an off day because him being in the lineup helps our team. I see it both ways. I'm cool with giving him an off day to just relax and just recoup. But I get what he's saying. Give him more at-bats. Let him go out there. Him being in the lineup helps our team the most. So I get it. I mean, I get it. I'm not going to cry if he sits a game, but I'm not going to cry if he's not getting an off day. He is the leader in this locker room. We rip Gabe Kapler for every decision he makes. We really do, especially last year. Not as much this year, let's say. As much this year, let's say. But I'm cool with him playing. I'm cool with the way Gabe Kapler looks on this and has outlook on this. I'm cool with it. You just got to keep getting him going. Keep getting him going. We tried to put him in the 2 hole and switch him and Segura, but it already got flip-flopped back, which I'm cool with just trying new things, but Bryce Harper will get out of this, and I think the boos are not justified in my opinion. So I want to hear your thoughts down below on this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.